Welcome back, everybody. This is the NASCAR 1-Up Retro round number 14 of 40, and it's at the wonderful RiKi Raceway up in Vancouver, Canada. I'm alongside Ben McDonald for today's race, and this is a one-of-a-kind track we're going to this race. You can't really compare it to anything else. Sure, you can compare it to Daytona, but it's a little smaller and it's a lot faster, with cars going upwards of 218 miles per hour through the corners. What do you think is going to be the issue here? We're going to have to avoid the big one at some point.
Yeah, definitely wondering when the big one will happen and where it will happen. If it's in the corners, I'd suggest braking as soon as you can. If it's in the back stretch or in the front stretch, I'd suggest going straight to the bottom if you have the room and try to avoid it as best as you can.
With qualifying being rained out, unfortunately, a little while ago, the starting lineup was determined by points. So all of the cars running for a championship are going to be starting up on the front row, with John Martin and Stephen Hunter sharing the front row. And with all these championship contenders running up front, one mistake by any of them will cost them lots of ground in the championship. How much risk versus reward can you gamble with here, with so many races remaining in the regular season?
Well, yeah, definitely. If you want to be, if you really want to be consistent, I'd suggest hanging back for the most part of this race, so you don't get caught in the big one or in any other sort of wreck. And then, if you really do want to play the aggressive role, just try to stay up, block as much as you can, and try to go for that win.
And with that being said, we're ready to go racing, and we will join you on the track as soon as the race is ready to start. Pace car is already off, leaving us in the hands of John Martin and Stephen Hunter on the front row, leading us down to the green flag. We are underway at RiKi Raceway, and they're already starting to fan out, but Martin's got gotten the jump on Hunter and the rest of this 42-car field going down the tri-oval straightaway and into turn one for the first time. Hunter ducks in right behind as we're starting to see two-wide action already through the field.
Yeah, hopefully that he can't get out to too far of a lead, because then the pack will just sweep him up and he'll just have to go to the back.
Hunter's right on his bumper. I'm not sure if he'll be able to make the move going into 3. He won't, as the 75 ducks underneath the 51 going into 3. That's going to be a move for second place. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to stick from getting the lead. They're coming off a turn 4 for the first time. It looks like Martin will lead the first lap, but that 75's got a push from King in the 18 and from Alexa Lutchen in the 50, and we're side by side. We've even got some three-wide action back there with Porkins, Carter, and Ortiz back in the middle of the field as we go side by side for the lead. It's the 75 nosing ahead.
Would you say it's a little too early to go 3 wide at this point?
Absolutely. This track is a little narrower than Daytona is, so you're going to want to... Any 3-wide racing comes at your own risk, because if you're going to be able to run 3-wide, you need to be able to be on the bottom, because the inside lane is going to be the fast way around this track, as you can already see cars like Lutchen, Bobo Jones, Mike Concho, all these guys that started on the inside lane, they're slowly moving their way up through the field as we enter lap 3, with a 3-car breakaway up front with the 75, the 18, and the 50.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of movement up at the front as they are all trying to single file out, so there's no real battling as they are going 3 wide right now for the lead.
3 wide, Alexa Lutchen on the inside. She's taking her 50 car to the bottom of the racetrack with a push from Mike Concho. That shuffles the 75 way out onto the outside line, but he slides in right behind King as we're going to have our third leader in as many laps. Alexa Lutchen takes the lead, but don't look now. She might lose it just as quickly because Mike Concho is on her inside and he wants the lead from her.
Yeah, definitely a really wide open pace and not anybody really dominating this one so far.
We've had 3 leaders and 3 lead changes in the 3 laps we've run so far, and I'm not sure Mike Concho is going to make it back to the line, because Josh Drake in the 86 car with help from Stephen Gale, he's got a good run going, and he is going to take command of this race now. With 4 laps complete, he's going to be our 4th different leader in as many laps. Josh Drake to the point with help from Duke Anzac in the 3 and Nick Ortiz in the 91. As Ortiz gets a little bit out of shape with Anzac, but it looks like they're going to sort things out just fine as Drake starts to pull away a little bit. Bit risky to pull away, but it's well worth being at the front of the field if you can dodge everything.
Yeah, definitely. One of the best places to be at this track, especially not being...
Oh, trouble on the back straight away. We've got Mashburn's involved, Freeman's involved, Jordan Presto in the 66 is involved. We've got plenty of cars involved in this one. Caution flag is out. Lane Sanders is in it. Ryan Soper is in it. They're racing back to the line. And a tough break for these guys who are all hoping for good points days. Hopefully they'll be able to buff out this damage. But we'll get you a replay as soon as we can to show you what happened to these 5 cars and more in the middle of the backstretch on lap number 6. As you see Miles Mashburn on the outside lane pushing Henry Thomas, and you see Ricky Freeman Jr. on the bottom. Is he the one who starts this in the white and purple number 56? They're 3 wide already, and yep, there it is. Freeman just went up high and nowhere for Jordan Presto or Miles Mashburn to go. You see the 12 involved, you see the 95 Arthur Xavier involved. Huge plume of smoke picking up. See Lane Sanders escaping the wreckage, and these 5 all drive away from it. Good news, that's good news. They're all driving away from it, and they can get repairs done and still be in this race after only 5 laps completed here at RiKi Raceway. 56 of Ricky Freeman Jr., and you can see him just wash up the track just a little bit, and he gets tagged by Jordan Presto, and it just all takes off from there. Gets banged into. You see Lane Sanders spinning out, Arthur Xavier getting involved. Tough break for all these guys. These guys did not need to be involved in the wreck, because these guys all started in the back because they were all very low in point standings. So this is only going to hurt them even more in their hopes of making future races in the schedule. And with that, you can see Freeman's damage being patched up, and with cars exiting pit road. A unique feature of this racetrack that we probably won't be getting to see all that much, since they can make it to the end of the race on a single tank of fuel, is this banked pit exit. It's a very fast pit exit. You can see Blair and a few others take to this banked pit exit. You can carry a lot of speed through it and rejoin the race at a lot faster speed than you would at most other tracks. Hopefully these guys can get back into the race, because that was a hard hit. I'm not sure what you think, but these guys need to get back into contention quick, as we're under caution for the first time today.
Yeah, I don't really feel like it's going to really concern them too much. Maybe a little bit of tape on the sides and buffing out the indents, but hopefully they can all make it and compete for the rest of this race.
And with the rest of this race now lined up behind the pace car, we can see Josh Drake has established himself as the race leader, with Nick Ortiz in second. Cal Farrell started 22nd in this race, and he's already moved up into the 3rd position. Ace in the 24 is in 4th, and then Oxendine in the 9. He actually missed last week's race at Canadian Tire, so this is a good run from him, running in the 5th position. You see Honcho in 6th. You see Onjack, I believe. No, that's Fitzwater in 7th, waiting for the scoring pylon to correct itself. See Fitzwater in 7th, and Onjack in 8th, the 75 car in 9th, and then Braden Saul in the 78 will be in 10th. That will be your top 10 for the restart, and it looks as though we're going to be seeing the 1 to go signal from the pace car. Yes, the lights are out, so we'll be going green this time by. Now, with an early wreck, would these drivers perhaps be more careful now? Were they to risk getting into another accident and potentially losing many championship points?
Yeah, definitely for those back markers that were in that wreck, try to be a little bit more conservative and not cause a wreck. And then definitely the guys up at front, not too much movement. Don't be too aggressive with their moves. Just try to make it as clean as they can, and hopefully they can make it the rest of the race without any incident.
See Drake in the lead, Ortiz in 2nd. All these cars up front, none of them have a single win to their name. None of the top 10 have yet to all of the top 10 have yet to win a race in this series. So they all are looking forward to showing their stuff. The first winner we have in the field is Stephen Gale in the 52, and he's in 11th. So a lot of opportunity in this race for these guys to get a good run and maybe even find themselves in victory lane, pull off an upset to stun the world here. As the pace car pulls down pit road, we're ready to go racing again. Josh Drake leads the field down to the green flag, which is out and flying. We are back underway at RiKi Raceway, and everyone dives to the bottom as they should. And Cal Farrell makes a move on Nick Ortiz right off the bat. We see side-by-side action for second on back as we go into 1 for the first time following the restart on lap 10. Josh Drake leading the field. Now he's got a bit of a gap. You got to be careful when you're leading a restrictor plate race. If you get managing that gap, you don't want it to be too big, because then they'll catch right up to you. You got to manage it. And as we've said before, these cars are very, very sensitive to the draft. You need to have a lot of cars working together if you want to make speed. And with making speed, as Ace makes a move that doesn't work, and Mike Honcho is going to try and make a move for second. Josh Drake continues to lead as we go into 1. But as I was saying earlier, these cars are so sensitive to the draft. You really need a lot of them working together to get anywhere in this race.
Yeah, definitely the bottom side looks to be the place to be for the most momentum. If you can get enough cars on the outside, probably double the times more than they have at the bottom, as they are 3 wide for the lead.
With Fitzwater now on the inside in the 59 Dodge. He's trying to lead for the first time and also trying to secure his first win in the series as the 75 goes underneath Oxendine for second position. We've got some thrilling racing throughout this entire field. On lap 12 of this race, we've got plenty of action throughout the entire pack, which is what you've come to expect when we go to these super speedways. There's a lot of tight pack racing. And with these cars going side by side down the back straightaway, it's anyone's guess as to who will lead the lap coming around.
Yeah, definitely shuffling through the field. Hopefully they can keep it as steady as they can. No big wrecks. As
the 75 noses out in front ahead of Fitzwater with help from Peter Onjak and Oxendine in the 9. And Seth Taylor back there in the 32. Good effort from him. He started 28th, and he's already made his way up into the top 5. Running in the 5th position as Fitzwater is all by himself on the high side. Tough break for him, but he'll be able to file back in line and give it another go as we are now lap 13 into this race. And Onjak may make a move on the inside. No, because the 75 cuts him off too hard. As Hallett goes on the inside, Jack Hallett in the 4 goes 3 wide on Seth Taylor. As we shuffle make our way down through the field, we can see plenty of side-by-side action through the field. Josh Drake has dropped all the way back outside the top 10, but as we said earlier, it's easy to fall out of the top 10, and it's just as easy to make your way back up into the top 10. A lot of shuffling around in this pack, but you got to be up front when it matters.
yeah, definitely try to keep it clean. Don't get too aggressive out there. Just try to keep your line, as there is a move for the lead.
From Jack Halleck in the 4, he's going underneath the 75, trying to take the lead away, and it looks like he'll be able to succeed with help from Stephen Hunter and Jeffrey Finguy, a group of Fords on the inside. And look at Jake McMillan in the 6. He started dead last in this field, and he's already in the top 5 in that 6 car. On second car on the inside, now third car on the inside, as Jack Halleck makes a move to defend the lead from Jeffrey Finguy, leaving Stephen Hunter all by himself up on the high side. But it looks like there'll be space in behind Caggiano to maybe make a move, but here comes Finguy. He wants the lead going into 3.
Yeah, definitely a good move by McMillan to make his way all the way up to the front of the field from starting in last place. Really good effort by him so far this week.
So far, he's up to the 4th position. He might lose that here as he's stuck on the outside, but Jeffrey Finguy goes to lead a lap, and here comes Ryan Caggiano, the Australian native, in the 30, trying to take the lead for the first time today. He's been top 10 in points pretty much all season long, and he's hoping for another solid effort to keep his championship hopes alive as he battles Finguy for the lead. It looks like Finguy's got a little bit more help going through the back straightaway going into turn 3, but Caggiano's got the preferred line, and he's got a couple of fast Chevrolets right behind him. It looks like Caggiano's going to take the lead coming off of 4.
Yeah, definitely a lot of movement in the front of the field, as most of the rest of the field as well. Definitely no clear winner so far in this race.
The only time we've seen someone lead for consecutive laps was Josh Drake under caution, so a lot of action at the front of the field and plenty of action at the tail as the snarling pack of cars thunders its way down the back straightaway. A few stragglers at the back, but I'm sure with a caution flag they'll catch up in due time. As Mike Honcho goes to the lead with a push from Anzac and McMillan in the 6, Jeff Bolton right behind them in the 38 UPS Ford. As now Honcho is going to try and take the lead away from Caggiano. Can he make it to the line? Yes, he can. Mike Honcho is your new leader with Duke Anzac pushing him. Entering lap 18 out of 50 now, and a lot of side-by-side action. this race is not going to be settled until the checkered flag drops, because there's going to be passing every single second of this race.
Yeah, definitely a thriller if you ask me. Anzac has definitely been up there, as well as Honcho. So they might be the favorites. I don't know. It could really be anybody at this point.
It's hard to narrow down a favorite at RiKi Raceway for sure, as we've got at least 25 cars in a hungry pack at the front of the field, and they're all within about a second of each other. So any one of those 25 cars could make a run to the lead, and they could take it very easily, as Anzac takes the lead now from Honcho, with McMillan, Bolton, and Taylor right behind him. Bolton missed the race at Canadian Tire as well, so it's a good run from the driver of the 38 car, making his way into the top 5 up to 3rd position, as he may lose that to Seth Taylor in the 32, who's had some strong runs offset by a few DNQs. So it's a good run from Taylor, who needs a run like this badly to cement himself a position in the top 30 in owners points, because that is the goal everybody is shooting for, because a top 30 spot locks you into the field, as Taylor makes a move for the lead now underneath Anzac.
Yeah, they're definitely battling it really strong up at the front, most likely, as well as in the back. So we really haven't seen, as Anzac has been the beneficiary of this lead pack somewhat.
As Taylor now makes a move for the lead with help from Jack Porkins and Justin Hutchinson, a two-time winner this season in the 28, as he's going to push the Best Buy forward past Seth Taylor, but Taylor will lead at the line. Something happened to Alexa Lutchin's car while we were under caution a moment ago, because she is now dropped off the lead lap. But a caution will catch her right back up to the action, no problems there. As Porkins, who dominated the race at Canadian Tire so well before John Martin snatched victory away from him, he knows how close he was to victory, and he can smell it again as he's leading this hungry pack of cars through turns 3 and 4 for the 21st time this race, and he will lead coming to the line, completing lap 21.
Yeah, definitely wondering how the rest of this race is going to shape out, if the 16 is going to stay in the lead or not, if he's going to be able to contend for most of this race, as it is looking to single file out for the most part. They are still double file behind later or further on in the pack. Just wondering who will make the move and try to get by the 16.
Might be Mike Honcho. He's got a very fast Chevrolet. He's already been out front in this race. As we look back through the field, you can see Lane Sanders by himself. And in this trio of cars, Bobo Jones in the 13, Henry Thomas in the 1, and Kevin Carter in the 71. They've dropped off the lead pack, and they're running by themselves right now. They're hoping for a caution flag very soon to catch them back up, because they are losing time to the leaders every lap, running with just 3 cars. So it's always better to have more cars in your pack, as this run can attest, because these guys are losing time every lap.
Yeah, I'd suggest about 8 or 9 cars in a pack to be able to contend with the leaders. If the leaders do get strung out with about 4 or 5 cars, they can easily get back up to the front.
Lap traffic could come into play, as Sam Donato's 00 car has some damage from that earlier incident, and he's about to get lapped here. He's running about 20 miles an hour slower than the leaders are, so they will catch him most certainly within the next lap or 2. And when that happens, it could split the pack up. It could cause another wreck. I'm a little worried about what'll happen when we get there, as Joshua Michaels in the 04 makes a move for second place under Ace with help from Seth Taylor.
Yeah, we can definitely see the 00 right in front of this pack. Let's see how he's going to shuffle up the lead.
Oh, he's impacting it in a big way. Joshua Michaels just got the break of a lifetime. He's squirted out ahead of this pack, as Michaels goes all by himself out to the lead, as now Taylor and McMillan have quite the task of tracking down Joshua Michaels for the lead, as Michaels pulls out to a massive lead here. And we've got trouble in the back. Trouble in the back. We've got a big crash. The points leader Martin's involved, and he's upside down. John Martin upside down. We've got Hunter's involved. Hutchinson's involved. Zach Fitzwater's involved. Honcho's involved. A lot of cars were involved in this one, and this one, I fear, could spell the end of the race for a fair number of drivers. Oh, as Freeman gets so close to hitting the 26 of Martin as he's trying to limp back to the pits. what happened to cause this? Sam Denoto had backed up the field. Bobo Jones is involved. You can see him coming to pit road. A lot of cars were involved in this as Sam Denoto was stacking up the lead pack. Lane Sanders is done for the day. You can see him on pit road. Nick Ortiz is out of the race after a strong run at Canadian Tire. Nick Ortiz's race is over early, and it looks like John Martin's race will be over as well. He had such a big points lead going into this race. One can only wonder what happened. As you can see, Nick Ortiz on the high side. He was going for position on Martin and Oxendine. It looks like it's going to be the exact same thing that happened earlier. They all just get stacked up together. Oxendine makes his way through, but Herman's involved in this wreck. You see Porkins is in it, Fitzwater, Honcho, and then you see Martin flipping down the back straightaway. Tough break for all these guys, especially guys like Hutchinson and Martin, who were doing so well in the points. Right on board now with John Martin. This is going to be a wild ride going underneath Ortiz, and you see Oxendine he's just ran out of room once again, and a lot of cars getting knocked around, and Hutchinson, I believe, is the one that plows into Martin and just sends him up and over and over and over.
Oh my. Definitely a ride for his life there. Yeah, I'm wondering if he's okay after that one.
With the safety of these cars ever improving every race, hopefully everybody will be all right. He's well enough to drive it back to the pits. I have a feeling he'll be all right. But his race is over after just 25 laps. Now, Joshua Michaels managed to survive the accident because after Sam Denoto took out the field, he managed to squeeze his way underneath the 00 and push himself into a huge lead that, of course, evaporated when the caution came out. But now he's got Mashburn right behind him. He's got Taylor right behind him, McMillan, Caden Atkins, Braden Saul. A lot of cars behind him that are wanting to take the lead away from the 04. And he's got to have a lot of worry in him because he knows how lucky he was to get the lead. But now he's got to fend off the entire pack to try and keep it.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting restart. See if anybody can break away from the majority of the pack and get a good shot of possibly winning this race.
As Joshua Michaels leads this race, and we look to the flag stand and the pace car to see if we will have one to go this time by, and it looks as though we likely will. Yes, we will. Although, actually, scratch what I said about Mashburn behind him. He's actually one lap down. But Taylor is still in the mix, as is McMillan, as is Atkins, as is Saul. So, other than Miles Mashburn, these guys are all with a very good shot at the lead here.
Yeah, it looks to be that there is a couple of other lap cars forming up now and trying to get to the front.
Sam Denoto in the 00 is there. Alexa Lutchen, we mentioned her earlier. She led earlier in this race, but had some sort of issue that trapped her a lap down. But she's right in the thick of things now, and a caution with her out front would result in her getting her lap back. So it's not over for Alexa Lutchen as we're coming to the green this time by. The pace car leading turns 3 and 4. We've got a whole train of cars on the outside looking for victory here. We've got Joshua Michaels in the lead. He's never won a race. Seth Taylor, he's never won. McMillan, Atkins, Saul in the 75 as well. They've never won a race before. Duke Antak as well. He's yet to go to victory lane as we're going back to the green flag at lap number 30 with Joshua Michaels with a very good restart. But can he clear the lap cars and build a lead going into turn 1? It looks like he can with Taylor right behind him.
Yeah, definitely getting ahead of those lap cars will most likely help him if the lap cars can catch them and have enough speed. They can put a good gap between them and the rest of the competitors.
Although if it's just McMillan helping them, they probably won't get very far. As 3 cars by themselves, we've seen it earlier with Jones and those others. We've seen it before. 3 cars by themselves are not going to be able to be enough. You need at least 6 or 7 cars in a pack to be able to keep pace. As Mashburn falls off pace, you see Gale working his way past him now, as Denoto is holding up Josh Drake on the high side. But Lutchen's actually probably got the fastest car of the cars that are down a lap. She's got a fast car under her, and it looks like she's able to keep pace. It doesn't look like the others are, as we see a battle for the lead building with Seth Taylor taking the lead from Joshua Michaels with Jake McMillan right behind him. We've got a new leader, and it's Seth Taylor.
Yeah, let's see if he can actually keep this lead and maybe pull away, because there is a pack forming and trying to get away from the rest of these cars, as there is a couple cars trying to make some passes. This won't help them in the long run if they want to get by and get away from the other pack.
7 cars have broken away now into their own little pack. It's Seth Taylor, Caden Atkins, Jake McMillan, Braden Saul, Stephen Gale, number 75 in the Buffalo Wild Wings ride, as well as Braden Saul. These cars have broken away from the lead, from the rest of the lead pack, and it looks like, unless another caution comes out, you see how far ahead they've gotten. This may be a battle between these 7 cars and just these 7 cars for victory, unless another caution comes out, because these guys are flying through this race.
Yeah, they're definitely not hoping for a caution to come out, as it would be better odds to fight only between these 7. But they will have to get single file and actually break away even more to do so.
And you can see the pack behind them are running side by side, so that definitely helps them out. As Taylor leads Atkins, leads Michaels, leads Gale. Coming off of turn 4 for the 33rd time in this race, Seth Taylor continues to show his muscle. This is, I believe, the first time Seth Taylor has led a race in his career. And what a way to cap it off if he can hang on for a victory here. As they're almost single file, we've got side by side for 6th place in the back there, but they're almost single file, and that's where you need to be in order to break away, yes. But Atkins is not willing to settle for 2nd. He wants the lead now.
Yeah, I'd suggest waiting, but if you can make the move and not really hit the line too much, I'd suggest go for it. But you really do want to break away.
Even with these cars breaking away, these cars are still breaking away despite running side by side. Their gap over the other pack has increased to 2.5 seconds, so they're not losing any time doing this. So if you're gonna make a move, you might want to go for it.
Yeah, definitely. If they have the speed, go for it. If they're not losing any time, go for it.
They're actually gaining time, these 7 cars, and these 7 cars may dictate the outcome of this race, as Atkins and Taylor are up on the high side. You look back on the 2nd pack, being led by Duke Ansack and Josh Drake, with Ryan Caggiano right behind them. They're about 2.5 seconds off the lead, but they're still in a spirited battle for the final 3 positions inside the top 10. You see Chris Maley and Cal Farrell there. Alexa Lutchen's the lap down, but everybody else is in position. You saw the 12 car. He was in that wreck earlier, but he's made his way back up. As we look back through the rest of the field, you see Freeman's still in the race. You see Hutchinson's dropped off a little bit. Bolton's dropped off a little bit, and the rest of these cars are pretty much just hoping for a caution to catch back up. As we see a lead change taking place now, Jake McMillan's going for it from 42nd place on the start to the lead at lap 36. That is quite a move to make.
Yeah, definitely the story of the day is to see somebody who hasn't really made too many starts this season actually compete for this win and have the speed to do it. He's leading these other 6 cars and isn't losing time, which is very impressive.
He may lose the lead to Joshua Michaels here, but that's still a good run by that 6 car. And he may have been helped out by a lack of competitors, as this is only a 7-car pack. But he may end up finding himself in victory lane as Michaels assumes the point. We're closing in on 10 laps to go now. And look at this pack. 6 out of 7 of these cars have yet to win a race. So it's very good odds that we'll have a first-time winner at RiKi Raceway. Could be any one of these cars. 4 Dodges, 2 Fords, and a Toyota out there taking command of this race.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one. Seeing if the backpack can catch up to them. Currently, I don't think they have the chance to if they're all still battling. They need to get all single file as well as this lead pack if they want to keep their enormous lead.
Here comes Stephen Gale, though. He wants to lead in this race. He's the only one in this pack that's won a race. Remember, he won at North Wilkesboro on that superior pit strategy. But here, strategy is the last thing on these drivers' mind. They're focusing on speed and drafting help for leading this race. Braden Saul up to second. He's missed 2 races previously, so a good run from him, and he needs it to get up into the top 30 in points, as does Joshua Michaels, as does Seth Taylor, Caden Atkins, Jake McMillan. They're all helping their causes to make it into the top 30 with a victory, or at the very least a top 7 finish.
Yeah, definitely to secure that win is going to help them get into the top 30 and be able to contend for all of these races coming up on the schedule.
As Braden Saul dips out of line, the drop to the tail end of the line. It's not always a bad thing to run at the tail end. You're using the least amount of fuel while still going at the same speed. As Stephen Gale breaks away with the 75 in tow, Jake McMillan, Joshua Michaels, all in a line. If you were to take a guess as to which of these cars could pull it off, where would you put your money on?
I would put it for the person that finished in dead last, Jake McMillan. He is definitely showing the most strength out of here. Coming from the back and now up to second.
That's very true. However, I'm keeping my eye on the 04 and the 32, Joshua Michaels and Seth Taylor. They've been up front all race long, moved up from the back as well as McMillan. They started 28th and I believe 39th in this race, and they're also running in this lead pack. They've been up front all day, and I've just been very impressed with them. We'll see if one of them can pull it off as well. As we look back on the second pack, now being led by Ace in the 24 and Lutchen in the 50, who's of course a lap down. But they've got Farrell stuck on the high side as Chris Maley goes underneath. This pack started to break away a little bit now from the pack behind them. We've got 3 distinct packs forming up here as we approach 8 laps to go in this race. It's still anybody's game among that top 7, or if a caution comes out, it could still be anybody's race in this pack.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in the lead pack, don't want a caution. If you're in the second pack, want a caution. Anything behind them, want a caution. It's all about luck and when it's going to happen.
That includes this third pack led by Ryan Soper, Jack Porkins, Jeffrey Finn guys in there. A lot of these guys, they led early in this race, but they've dropped back into this third pack. They are in desperate need of a caution to keep up with the leaders. You see Stephen Hunter back there, and you see another 3-car pairing of Freeman, Presto, and Xavier. They were all in a wreck early. As you see the stragglers at the tail end of the field, they are demanding for a caution at this point, as the lead pack now has Seth Taylor at the head of the line, coming through turns 3 and 4 once again, and it looks like they're going to put a lap on Richard Herman. This could change the outcome again. Remember what happened when Sam Donotto got in their way.
Yeah, as they are looking to make a move on the inside, this might not work out if they do get side by side, because then it will shuffle everything up, maybe lose the draft of this lead pack, and possibly slow everybody down as well.
You see the McDonald's dodge of Richard Herman. They're closing in on him at a very fast rate, and it looks like Herman's going to hold up everybody but Seth Taylor. He's going to rocket out to the lead as they're all trying to pass the 53, and it looks like they're going to be able to now, except for Braden Saul. Braden Saul is going to be stuck behind the 53 of Herman, and it looks like Saul might be out of the running unless he can get back down to the inside in a hurry. It's a tough break, but now Seth Taylor's got the whole track to himself with a hungry pack right behind him. They're going to catch him probably by the end of this lap, and they're going to blow by him too.
Yeah, definitely. As it looks like Stephen Gale is trying to make the looks on the inside of the 32, trying to put a little bit more pressure on him and see if he could slip up.
Braden Saul's finally gotten past Richard Herman, but now look at him. He's all by himself running there. I think his race is over. He's now a second behind the lead draft, and now it looks like it'll be a 6-car battle as Braden Saul falls out of the picture. And now we've just got these 6 cars all dicing for position at the very late stages of this race. You see Jack Porkins has the point for fastest lap. We'll see if that changes in the final 5 laps as Gale and Taylor start to pull away a little bit from the field.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also wondering if the loss of that one car could affect how fast they are going to go. I'm wondering if that little bit of spread is going to increase or decrease their maximum speed around this track.
Well, so far it looks to be stabilized at about 2.5 seconds, as Braden Saul's actually trying to hang on to the back of this pack, and I think he might actually. He might still be in this, as Caden Atkins goes underneath Seth Taylor for the third position, as now Stephen Gale dives down to the inside to block the run from Atkins, and we're probably not going to be done with lap traffic yet either. I saw a car up there. I see 2 cars up there, so we're not out of the woods yet. It's become to 3 laps of racing to go.
Yeah, definitely wondering if they'll just, if the lap cars will let them by or just try to block them, make something interesting in this race, as we are definitely seeing the race come to an end and a little bit more pressure on these drivers.
As you see Sam Donato and Zach Fitzwater up there, that's going to cause trouble for these guys running in the pack, but that has allowed Braden Saul to catch back up. This is once again a 7-car battle, but if these cars get stuck behind Donato and Fitzwater, this could spell trouble, as they have to check up extremely hard for the 00 Donato. Atkins falls way off the pace, as now Michaels and McMillan shoot out to the lead, with Taylor right behind them, as they're still trying to get by Fitzwater. Donato stacking them up, though. This is going to be a battle for the win coming down to the final lap.
Yeah, definitely. As McMillan is still stuck behind that car. Really sad to see him not be able to make the move. Hopefully he can get down to the bottom of the track and be able to compete for this win.
We're coming to the white flag this time. It's Joshua Michaels out front, but here comes Seth Taylor on the inside with help from Braden Saul. The white flag is out. Remember, Braden Saul 5 laps ago was out of this thing. He had no chance, but now with the lap cars coming into the picture, he has caught up, and he is in 2nd place behind Seth Taylor. He's going to have one more shot to get by him going into 3. And look at that. The lap cars have allowed the second pack to catch up. We've got 15, 16, 17 cars in a pack now.
Yeah, coming into turns 3 and 4, this will definitely have to have a move to hopefully take out that 32.
Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Coming off of turn 4 for the final time. He led most of this race, and he's going to celebrate in style with a big upset. Seth Taylor wins at RiKi Raceway with Braden Saul right behind him in 2nd. What a run by Jake McMillan from last to 3rd. Joshua Michaels in 4th. Caden Atkins held on for 5th at the end. 75 winds up 6th. Stephen Gale in the 52 is 7th. And look at this pack. They caught up in a hurry. Ryan Caggiano was 8th ahead of Chris Maley, and the 12 actually had a very strong run to 10th place despite being involved in an early wreck. But what a job by Seth Taylor. He very much earned this win.
Yeah, definitely. If there was one more lap in this race, the backpack would have definitely been there and contended for the win, but not enough time, I guess. Hopefully they can try again next week.
And that is true. We've got a very busy schedule of racing coming out next. And next up is Charlotte Motor Speedway for one of our longest races of the calendar. It'll be Charlotte Motor Speedway up next, and that will be a very long race, and we'll be looking forward to bringing that one to you as soon as these cars can get out of Vancouver and down to Charlotte, because we're just as excited for that race as we were about this one. This was quite an exciting race. What are your final thoughts for RiKi Raceway?
Definitely an excitement. Really like to see most of these backmarker teams make it up and have a chance to compete in the series. Definitely going to shuffle up the points because of the Martin crashing early in this race and having a bad point stay because of it.
That is true, and we will bring you the updated results when they are here. But for now, the race is at its end. And from Ben McDonald and myself, congratulations once again to Seth Taylor, his first career win, and it comes at the Super Speedway in Vancouver.